going on, everybody? Austin here with Tactical Approach Outdoors. So let's talk about that Iowa 8-point that I had. So over the spring, me and Dakota went to this property to do some spring scouting, put boots on the ground, and we covered this property. Not only did we cover this property, but we looked at 3 others, and it was obvious that this is the one that we needed to be hunting. I mean, the scrapes were definite, they were fresh, they were concentrated. The deer were using the terrain features as they needed to be using. Everything looked very predictable and comfortable movement. Bedding areas, and we found some monster rubs up there. So I knew for sure that that was the property that I wanted to go to. I had the preference points, and I was like, you know what, let's draw a tag this year. Let's go for it. So leading into this hunt, this is the first time that I've done a canoe access hunt like this. This was a canoe camp. So I canoed in a mile, set up camp, and then I hunted from there. So I was hunting another 1.5 miles actually from camp. So, you know, every morning I got up, paddled in the 1.5 miles, and then which going downstream, and then at the evening I had to come back upstream that 1.5 miles. So that was another reason I went ahead and actually camped halfway, because that 2.5 mile trip upstream in the evenings, that was going to be too much. So got everything ready, got everything set for this trip. Going into this trip, I had an idea about where I wanted to go, but I wasn't 100% sure exactly where I needed to be hunting then, because we were still a little bit early in October. I got there the October 17th, so 2 days after I shot my 9-point here in Missouri. I went up to Iowa. I paddled in, got camp set, and the next day I was going to give myself 2 days of warmer weather to figure out where the fresh sign was. That way I can really move in and not mess up the better hunting days by scouting. So I used that warm weather, a little bit of windy days, and got in there and found some fresh sign, and it didn't take me 3 hours actually to figure out exactly where I needed to be. I started with this point that all this movement converged in on this one area. There was big scrapes, big rubs. It was a great spot, so I knew I wanted to start there and then go from there, figure out where these deer were. That particular spot was not producing yet, so I went ahead and walked down the ridge, and I got to a point where right at that point all the scrapes opened up. I mean, massive scrapes. These, I mean, huge 6 foot in diameter plus scrapes were there, and I mean, they were just massive. And while I was there scouting that first day, I jumped a huge wide deer. I'm not sure if it was the one that I ended up shooting. I'm pretty sure it was the one I had that encounter with on day number 2. So went ahead, went back, got my canoe, brought it down, got set up, and I knew that my better weather really wasn't coming to the end of the week. So I'm like, let's just sit this out. My access was extremely minimal, very low intrusive, so I knew that as long as I did my part, I wouldn't mess up my hunt. So I had that encounter with a huge deer on day number 2, which was very exciting and confirmed that spot. I saw deer movement all week and was just waiting for this cold front to come in. And you saw on the 21st, we had a good cold front. So the day before I shot my buck, it was a decent cold front. The minimum temperature was still high. It wasn't very low, but the high temperature dropped quite a bit from Wednesday to Thursday there. So, but you can also see that the wind was still extremely high on that day. So the day after that I knew was going to be my better day, the 22nd. And the temperatures dropped even more from the day before. The low temperature dropped way down. There's the coldest day that I had all week, and that wind was gone. I mean, it was dead still. So let's click to the hourly here, and you can see throughout this. So I shot him first thing in the morning, so it doesn't even, this didn't even have any play daily wise into how the hunt went, because he came by not 10 minutes after shooting light. So I was just sitting there on stand. I've been there a couple hours already. I get in there super early, and saw him coming in making scrapes on his way in, and it was just perfect. Dead still morning, frosty morning. He came in working scrapes and gave me an awesome maybe 15-yard broadside shot, maybe. I mean, he was probably more like 10 yards. So that was extremely exciting. That was a fun. The adventure of that hunt was so much fun. So I would definitely do that again. I'm definitely planning on going back to that property. Got cameras set up and collecting data throughout the rest of the year. So I'm excited to get up there and check the card and see what it shows. But we're gonna go back in the spring, do some more scouting. So first time up there, first year actually hunting that. It was extremely successful. Big, mature, wide, 8-point, heavy guy, and I mean everything that I was looking for. So the more data I collect, the more likely I am to maybe hold out a little bit more. You know what I mean? So that hunt was very straightforward. There wasn't a whole lot that went into it. It was going right to the fresh sign. I was able to get on fresh sign extremely fast and get on the deer extremely fast and just got set up, and really it was a waiting game after that. So there's times when you need to move and adjust, and this particular time was I was in a tree that I just needed to let it produce. So I held tight, hunted all day sits every single day, and it ended up making it happen on that Friday, and it was just, he came in perfectly working scrapes. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget the like and subscribe button to keep up with our other videos. Charlotte Lucky Whiskey, good luck, happy hunting, shoot you a big one. It's good stuff. I'll see you on the next video, guys.